James, David, gentlemen, congratulations. You are now moving into the final round of this supersized competition. But in this final round, gentlemen, you will be building the largest weapon we have ever asked smiths to make in Forged in Fire history. Bladesmiths, in the next 4 days, you will be building this. The 9-foot-long Freiauler Spice.
The Freiauler Spice dates back to 16th century northern Italy. The massive polearm features a 37-inch long central blade with 2 curved side blades. The shaft could measure up to 6 feet long, perfect for delivering lethal thrusts and slashes upon enemy cavalry. Over time, this enormous weapon took on a more ceremonial role, and at its longest, spanned more than 10 feet. Today, the Freiauler Spice can be seen on display at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City.
So good luck, you're gonna need it. We will see you guys in 4 days.
My name is David Warner. I'm 37 years old. I'm from Kirkwood, Missouri. I have twins, a boy and a girl. And I would say that raising twins has prepared me really well for this competition because I can deal with stressful situations. I'm kind of nervous about making something that's this size, and then to put a spear socket at the end of it, that's also a challenge. And then get to attach to the socket. You know, it's gonna be a pacing challenge. I need to start shaping the handle. I've made some spears before, but nothing quite like this. So I need to make sure that the handle will actually fit inside the socket. I've got to make sure that there's a pretty precise fit. So I think what I'm gonna do is heat up this guy and try and use that heat to press this in the post vise around there to get a nice seal on that shaft. That's what I was going for. Yesterday, I got the blades quenched. I just need to assemble everything and sharpen it. I think this blade has got a pretty good shot of bringing home 10,000 bucks. Who's hungry?
My name is James Dean, like the actor. I was a professional chef for 25 years. The forge environment is much like the kitchen. It is hot, it is angry, it is dirty, but I get to create something beautiful. You just don't eat it. You can, it's just not nutritious and might break a teeth.
Time to stand up a huge village. By the end of today, I hope to accomplish stacking up 230 layers of Damascus. I want to do something to kind of really elevate my build. First thing I'm gonna do is cut in my little spikes. Now that the pikes are shaped, you gotta quench. For something this big, there's chances it might warp. Got a little bit of a warp. It did take a little bit of a warp, but nothing that's not within grinder range. The blade is hard. I'm super pumped. So I'm gonna try grinding it out. Bro. In the process of trying to straighten my blade, I ended up shattering it. This is day 4. I have no time left, but I'm starting over. Being that I only have 9 hours, I have to try to make the build out of a mono steel just so I can get it done in time. Since my time is short, I have to rush the heat treat. I really didn't get much of a warp. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I had a huge comeback. I'm the comeback kid. Who builds the biggest weapon in Forged in Fire history in 9 hours on the last day? I dare you.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the dynamic keel test. But as massive as your weapons are, it's not as massive as my disappointment that I can't wield them today because of my injury here. But I leave you in capable hands with the man of the plan who'll be my hand, Dave Baker. David, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's do this.
So, David, When you're swinging a 9-foot weapon, it's pretty wild. It went into the pig with no resistance whatsoever. The blade, it's all still true, it's all still sharp. Nicely done. Doug, you got anything to add?
Your weapon will kill.
All right, James, you ready?
Slice, dice, and bacon.
All right, James, right off, it did what it's supposed to do. But there are some spots that are dull. I can literally rub my finger on it. And we picked up a significant bend in the blade. But having said that, Doug?
Your weapon, sir, will kill.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the dynamic strength test. To test the strength and overall construction of your weapons, I will be pushing on these poles, snapping all 10 of them, and then piercing these steel drums. Dave, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. All right, David. Well, your blade held up great. In piercing the drums, took some serious flex, but came right back to true. The side blades here, they penetrated that barrel, and I don't even see any indication that they were in there. All in all, I think you did a great job, and your weapon held up great.
Thank you.
All right, James, you're up, man. You ready?
Pick it up, fire it up.
All right. All right, James, it looks like your tip held up fine, but your blade took a pretty significant warp. It's kind of doing an S-curve now, but all in all, it held up pretty good. Nice job.
Thank you.
But Bladesmiths, this has been a hell of a competition from the beginning, but at the end of this competition, only one of you can come out on top, earning the check for $10,000 and the title of Forge and Fire Champion. Today's Forge and Fire Champion is David. Congratulations. Well, James, you're a talented smith. You've been talented all the way through this competition. We want to say thank you for coming out, but your time here has ended. I'm going to have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thanks, James. I feel devastated after the test. I really wanted to win, but I mean, I made the biggest blade in Forge and Fire history in 9 hours, and I'm proud of it.
David, that makes you a Forge and Fire champion, man. You're going to be getting a check for $10,000. Very well done.
Thank you. I'm still kind of just processing that just happened. A big chunk of this $10,000 is going to go toward getting my kids their education. I'm just excited.
Nathan. Gunnar, congratulations, guys. You're moving forward in the third and final round of this competition. You made your first blades out of guillotines, and we're going to continue on with the darker side of history theme by asking you to build this blade 4 days. The Executioner's Sword.
The executioner's sword performed its bloody work in 16th century Central Europe. Unlike combat swords, this lethal blade features a straight, double-edged cutting blade with a blunt tip, perfect for swiftly chopping off the heads of criminals. This deadly weapon was used on many aristocratic felons rather than the axe, since it allowed the victim to meet his end in a dignified kneeling position rather than laying face down with his head on the block. While the executioner's sword fell out of use in the early 18th century, this gruesome sword is still wielded in the 2019 video game Mordhau.
The Bladesmiths, good luck. We will see you in 4 days.
My name is Nathan Anderson from West Valley, Utah. I'm a maintenance worker at the Utah's Hogle Zoo. I love animals, and there's not too many places where I can be welding and look up and see a giraffe right there. If I win Forged in Fire, the $10,000 is gonna go to taking my wife on a trip to go looking for Bigfoot.
Heat treat coming up. Just don't want to rush it. I don't want to break it, because that would be bad. All right. I don't think that anything went wrong. I feel pretty good about the quench. Should be able to clean everything up and move on forward from here. So now it's time to start working on the guard. I've got my finials right there. Hopefully those won't add too much weight for what I want to go for, but I think I'm sitting pretty good for right now. There we go. I've got the guard fitting where I want it to.
I need the handle comfortable so that it's not a reason to be sent home.
As good as it's gonna get, and then we'll pin it. So I start engraving skulls and some flames and things like that to kind of make it my own. Pretty close. Let's give it a test. This blade is so good, I can smell Bigfoot now.
My name is Gunnar Wilbanks. I'm a high school football coach and teacher, and I'm a part-time bladesmith. My wife loves it. Every time I make a knife, I bring it in to her. Both of my daughters and my son, they all have to hold it. As it turns out, we all love blades.
A few hours in, and I'm almost halfway there.
Kind of forgot what it was like in the little man's world just working with a hammer, because I don't have the power tools. I'm having trouble getting it heated evenly because my forge is short. Every time I slide my blade through, it's so long it wants to droop on one end.
Every time that I'm getting down here, getting the back end of it hot, the front end of it's cooling off. We gotta get the timing right here.
I get it in the quench tank. I don't feel any tings. I don't feel any cracks, anything like that.
That's not the sound you want to hear.
It's soft on both ends. That's not gonna work. Plan B is to go in for a second quench, and instead of laying the blade flat, I'll lay it upright. Maybe I'll be able to hold the heat a little bit better that way, and the blade's not gonna sag on me. If the quench doesn't go well, I go all the way back and start at ground zero.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
I'm elated that I'm actually gonna be able to use this blade. It seems to be going great.
All right, so far, so good.
And hopefully, God willing, and the creek don't rise, they might say you're the Forged in Fire champion.
It will kill.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. The Executioner's Sword. That word alone just gives you visions of decapitated heads. So to find out what kind of lethal damage your Executioner's Sword can do, I'll deliver some, well, lethal blows on this ballistic dummy. Nathan, is it time?
It's time, have fun. Holy crap.
Just a little off the top. All right, Nathan. First up, this is a heavy beast. It is so forward heavy that you need two hands to control that. Now, your handle construction is smooth, I'll give you that. But it also feels a little bit rounded over here, where it actually gives me much more control sideways than it does this way. But overall, your weapon, sir, it will kill.
Awesome.
All right, Gunner, your turn. So you ready?
Absolutely.
Let's do this. All right, Gunner, let's talk about your executioner sword over here. Your blade right here has a finer grind, so it makes it a little bit lighter. And the edge that you have here, when it came to that skull, just glided into that. Overall, sir, your executioner sword, it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the strength test, the skull and bone chop. Now, to test the overall construction of your blades, as well as how they feel while they're being used, I'll be chopping into these skulls and that nasty giraffe bone. Nathan, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Have fun. Holy giraffe.
All right, Nathan, so right off, man, this thing is heavy. Once you get it moving, it's going, but controlling it's tough. Having said that, your edge held up beautifully. It's still just as sharp as when I started, which is pretty darn sharp. So good job on that.
Thanks. I like sharp things.
Gunner, ready?
What if I said no?
I'd say, you don't watch the show much, do you?
Exactly.
All right, so Gunner, right off, lighter blade, easier to control. A lot of that has to do with the fact that you've got more handle here. Now your blade, it's got some compacting on the edges, but I wouldn't run my finger down this edge. It's still plenty sharp. Nicely done.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bladesmiths, this is the sharpness test, the jackfruit and water jug slice. Nathan, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir. Have fun.
All right, let's do this.
Still sharp.
All right, Nathan. As far as the downward chop, it's a very clean cut, easy, no resistance whatsoever. Now, when I was cutting, as soon as I met the resistance of the water, it kind of rolled on my hand. But anything that it did have contact with, it was able to cut. Overall, sir, your weapon, it will cut.
Thank you.
All right, Gunner, your turn. So you ready?
Yes, sir, I am.
Let's do this. All right, Gunner. The handle construction you have here is wide and ovoid enough to where when I hold onto it, I can really tell where the edge is, and it's much easier to control a blade like this. In the slice, you can see that cuts nicely. Overall, sir, your weapon, it will cut.
Thank you.
Well, bladesmiths, only one of you can leave here with the title of Forged and Fire Champion and get that check for $10,000. Now, the judges discussed your blades, and they made a final decision. Today's Forged and Fire Champion is Gunner. Congratulations. Now, Nathan, you fought hard, man, but unfortunately your blade didn't make the cut. I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thanks, bud.
Well, I'm gonna have to find a different way to take my wife to go see Bigfoot, but we're still gonna go.
Well, Gunner, that makes you the Forged and Fire Champion. You just got yourself a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. I just won Forged and Fire.
Feeling good?
I mean, I've never thought I would make it this far from day one. I don't necessarily think that I'm a better smith than any of these other guys. It just worked out in my favor today. As far as the money, after football season ends, my wife and I will probably take a long weekend somewhere.